Okay, welcome back to another day of working on Bruce, the Ascent, the Overland build that's going to seat and sleep 5. Is it possible? I don't know. Okay, we've got a lot of work to do ahead of us, so I'm going to pull this out. Here's our to-do list on the board. We've got, on the inside here, we've got to remove the captain seats, measure everything, cut the floor template, install a cot, design and install a cot, rather. I got to fabricate that. Window screens for the windows. I've got a subfloor coming in that'll be made out of T-nuts aluminum extrusion. Got the bolts for that. Water jug and dispenser. Installed a floor. We're going to use 3/4 inch pre-finished birch for that. And I have an automotive carpet, or actually it's like a garage flooring carpet coming for that. Then we need to design and build a rear cargo area that'll house the battery as well as much possible storage. Then we've got the fridge going in, and there's a slot for that in the subfloor. Battery install and hook up with the alternator. And I'm going to swap the interior dome lights, the bulbs, which are, they're not LED, I don't think. I can't remember what they are right now, but I'm going to swap those out for red bulbs, for red light, so that the kids don't wake up if you ever have to open the door in the middle of the night. Then for the exterior, we've got lift spacers going on Wednesday. Wheels, tires going on Thursday. Roof rack installation on Wednesday. And then I've got the Go Fast Camper RTT coming in a couple days. Then we've got a shower cube from Alucab going to go on the roof. And then I have the Yakima Road Shower 10-gallon coming in. And that is way too heavy for the roof because it's like 120 pounds when it's full. So that's going to go on the actual hitch receiver. I got to figure out, I need to get the swing hitch that's coming in, and then I'm going to fabricate a custom mount for that road shower to go right on the trailer hitch. So I got a couple other upgrades for that with a quick fist hose clamp and a new hose. And then we've got an access ladder going on the back, and the hitch swing from Rigged, and a camp table. And then I got to figure out the camera relocation. So we got a lot of stuff to do. So let's get straight into it. All right, so for carpet, I ordered this Dry-Mate cargo liner, which is kind of like your standard automotive carpet, but it has this waterproof layer underneath, which I really liked. So I'm gonna get that unboxed here. Get this plastic off. I've seen a couple reviews on this where the backing actually like self-adhered in shipping. So let's see, hopefully that didn't happen. I want to just get this unfolded and hanging so that it can start to de-wrinkle a little bit. So you can see the back has this waterproof material. So I really like this, easy to cut to size. And then this will just glue down with 77 3M, or I think I have 90, I'm not sure. I'm just removing the second row passenger seats. So this configuration, oh, these are really cranked in there. Eh? This is the 7-passenger configuration. And so I'm just pulling out the seats. And then we're going to be able to finally take some real measurements as to what is under here. All right, we're just gonna take a second here and acknowledge this. You're gonna see a lot of this, all right? I threw this pair of underwear away that day because I realized it had all these holes in it. And I'm totally unashamed. You're just gonna see a lot of Calvin Klein. I'm not sponsored by Calvin Klein. I got an interesting shaped body, and you're just always gonna see some underwear. So, sorry in advance. All right, so one thing I'm actually pretty excited about was successfully cutting this panel right here. So the way it works is the cut is at an angle here, so it sits flush with that. And so you can still, stand on that, sit on that, and then this pulls away and makes the perfect amount of space for the water jug. Moment of truth. did I cut the wood to the correct size? Only one way to find out. That, and let's try it. How we doing? Oh. That's absolutely perfect. All right, let's see if the jug fits in the jug hole. Sure does. At least like a glove. Oh, that's perfect. All right, so I successfully bent these to the right angle to fit over here and measured the angle of the holes and was able to drill a nice hole right at the correct angle. So we're gonna get these slotted in. I'm gonna undo these fasteners and get the T-nuts into the tracks here. And then something I did, so I ended up grinding off the end of these carriage bolts, and I'm gonna use these essentially as locator bolts. So when this is in the track and the T-nuts are in the slot, I'm just gonna thread these in, and that's gonna help me align the T-nut to the floor birch panel. And then once it's aligned, I just unscrew this and the T-nut's in place underneath the birch, and I can put in the actual fastener through the birch. So this is a nice little hack if you need to attach a T-nut and you can't locate it underneath a giant slab of wood. You can just create your own locating bolts like this. Okay, so what I've done here is I've laid in the floor on top of the extrusion. You can see here where it's mounted. And what I've done is I've drawn in pencil a little line along the length of the extrusion here, because it's the extrusion doesn't run completely straight. It's at a slight angle. So what I'm going to do is just use the dimensions of the extrusion to locate where the T-nut will fall in the track beneath it. And then I'm going to show you how I'm going to use my locator bolts to put that in. Okay, so if I've done this correctly, this line is the outer edge of the extrusion. So all I need to do is measure the distance between the outer edge of the extrusion and the center hole of the T-nut. And then I'm just gonna give myself a couple options. So maybe drill a hole every, 4 to 6 inches, so that I have a few options on alignment, because there's probably some twisting here and there. So let's get that measurement. Okay, so from the edge of the extrusion to the hole is looking like about 12.2. So here I'm going to show you how my locator bolts work. These are just regular 1/4-20 carriage bolts that I got from Home Depot, and I just sawed off the head. That's it. So make sure, if you're going to use this method, use the correct end, the one that wasn't sawed off. Otherwise your threads will be all jacked up on your T-nuts. So here's how it works. So essentially, I find my T-nut and screw that in, and a little bit loose there, and make sure I've got the right end here on this one. And now when I lay the board down, I'm going to pre-drill holes, remember, in the birch. I've got these nice locators that I can just move around, drop the board right on top of in here, and then once it's aligned, I can remove these very carefully, right? And then I'll have a T-nut ready to receive the correct bolt, not this one. So, all right, I just marked my drill holes, and again, this is 12.2 millimeters from this outer edge here, and that outer edge represents the outer edge of the extrusion. So I can get them aligned, and then I will pull it back out and surface this with the automotive carpet, get it all stapled in nice and smooth, get it glued down, and we'll put the floor in today. So kind of a huge bummer last night, but it rained. I hung up the floor so that all the glue could cure and it could just kind of like off gas in the backyard, and it rained. So I think this glue is definitely not going to hold its strength. So at some point I might need to pull this floor out and resurface it. So we're going to try that out. Okay, just dropped the floor in using my locator bolts. They're working beautifully. Now it's going to be a matter of whether or not I can unscrew them from the T-nut and the T-nut will stay in place for me to put the actual bolt through and get that in there. So we will see. I'm also just running the cables here that run to the fridge. So I've got an AC cable and a DC cable just in case one goes out. I have another connection. And those just run here. I'll probably end up covering that up. Or maybe it can actually run under that cap. Potentially I'll have to drill a hole through it or something. But that's going to be nice and tidy there. And that runs all the way into the back right here. All right, we're going to get these bolts out and see if this method even worked. Okay, so I'm going to slowly, carefully loosen. Okay, I heard a drop. Okay, so now this should go in right where the T-nut was. Oh, okay, that worked. So what I did is I took a 5/6, actually this is, what is this? This is 3/8. I took a 3/8 drill bit and I just tapped a tiny little bit off the top there, and look how beautiful that is. It's perfectly flush and it's super solid. All right, here's the refrigerator, like a glove. All right, here's what it looks like. There's the floor area. Got the fridge there, water station there. Looking good.